the easiest way to start a business is to put a food truck outside a Home Depot because those douchebags took away all the hot dog carts that used to be there.
What kind of food would it sell?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, the hot dog stand that used to be in Home Depot was busy as hell. That dude was making money. Just that stand was from open to close, I think was busy. And you could put any food outside of Home Depot. I'm probably buying it. You could sell tacos, sell sandwiches. Now, you could sell those shitty taquitos that like you get at Speedway. Um, I'd probably buy them. It's like,
Oh.
um, yeah, man, just put food at Home Depot, you're done. It's like game over. Um, Interesting article because I get hit up between LinkedIn, business podcast, being up in the startup investing world. How often do I get asked how to start a business?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, you start a business by starting a business. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I know. Are you being serious? I'm like, but that's the best advice I can give you is just go start a business. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
uh, what do they also say? Do I need a business plan? And I'm like, well, did you ever see the movie Social Network? No, yeah, I saw it. I'm like, all right. So you remember when Zuckerberg like ran back to his computer and he just started coding? Yeah. I remember that. That was funny. The face smash or whatever it was. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, did you see him do like a business plan first? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, you got your answer.
Yeah. That's a really fair point.
Um,
Really fair point.
it's I get asked this question probably I don't know how many times a year, and it's stop screwing around with business cards. You'll get the logo figured out at some point. Vistaprint right now is hoping you want to start a business because they want your ass to go buy some shit, right?
Yeah.
Letterhead. Where are you sending the letterhead to? Where you got no business. Where are you sending the letterhead to? Um,
Yeah.
the business cards, the logo, the letterhead. You need all this shit, and it's like, meanwhile, I got a guy that like details my boat that probably makes like 100 grand a year, and he got shit. He got a business card. He got a website. He's got a cell phone number.
Yeah.
He's like, send me a text. Dude's minting money right now.
Yeah.
He ain't got nothing, but he's probably doing six figures. And I try like, you get all these things out of your head about what do you think it's like? Because I've started probably well over a dozen businesses in my life,
Mm.
and what I did when I was a teenager and what I do now and how I go about it, completely different. Back then, logo, business cards, letterhead, shit, way back then. Do I get a yellow pages ad? Um, First thing I started doing now is I start checking trademarks. Are my business name marked? Is it something I can do something with? This is where I start thinking. There's people out there who won't start a business because this awesome name they had is taken on GoDaddy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if you're letting a name that's taken on GoDaddy stopping you from creating your business, and it sounds like the business probably was never good enough to start with. If you have a good idea, you can name it Acme Corp, and the shit's gonna take off. Or the social network, Mark Zuckerberg on the whiteboard. I don't even know how I remember this shit. He writes Newco on the whiteboard. You can name your company Newco, and if it's good, it's gonna take off, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So I am also when I start a business, I'm not thinking about things that's gonna make me 50,000. I'm not thinking about things that are gonna make me 100,000. In fact, if it doesn't make a million plus, I mean not from the year one, Kane.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have the potential to give me seven-figure returns, I'm not fucking with it. So the first thing I think of is trademarks. I need to make sure that this business I'm coming up with, the name, I got to make sure the mark I can operate in 50 states. I obviously got the idea for what it is. Then I start thinking marketing, branding, all that stuff. But I go right for the trademarks. I look at domains. I look at all that stuff. I'm not worried about social media handles. There's 20 million derivatives of social media handles. Unless you plan on being Uber, what do you do then, Kane? When you get big enough, you just buy whatever domain you want or whatever social media handle you
Right.
want.
Right.
I know people that like let that get in their way of starting a business. Oh, this cool name I had was taken. I'm like, fork the name. You either have something that makes money or it doesn't. It's not like you're trying to do a best-selling book, right? And I don't even think you can copyright book titles. It's not like something like that. It's who would have thought there would be a company that does ride sharing that's called Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been named Modern Taxi Co. We're in the same place right now, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
What are
Yeah,
your thoughts here?
it's an interesting way to go about it. I've had conversations over many, many years with people who have talked about starting businesses, even up until, within the last couple of days. And I think of the progression. So I've had, I'm in an MBA right now. And so the conversations are a little bit different than they were maybe 7 years ago with my group of friends that, that were thinking about starting a business back then. But I guess and the conversations haven't really changed. And I thought, well, that's one thing that I think business schools maybe don't prep you with enough. And I've known you for a long time too, James, and I've watched you start, maybe a handful of brands and businesses in that time. And you're right, your approach is completely different to the way that, people talk about, because it's less, I'm stealing this from you, but it really is less thinking and just go and get your first client, go and produce some IP, go and do something that gives you something to do. Because even the recent conversation I had with an individual at business school was, oh, I've got this great idea. I've done so much analysis. I know that there's a market gap. I know that there's an opportunity. It's okay. So, what's the company called? Whatever it is, XYZ. Do you have a website? No. Do you have an actual product? No. But we have all the social handles for it. And it's just something that I think there's a gap, or there's an image of what it means to start a business that I think nearly everybody subscribes to. And then there's the individuals who've actually successfully started businesses like yourself, who I think have a different way of going about it. So it's interesting to hear from your perspective.
Yeah, the last thing I'm usually worried about social handles, to be honest.
Yeah.
The derivatives. You can always find ways to make a social handle work. I think trademarks. I think I need to get a website up, and I need to start working on PR about get a PR release out, get on Haro, get on Profnet, try to get a media pickup, get on to what the hell is that website that lists all the startups with the money?
Crunchbase.
Get on Crunchbase, try to get some media pickups. I want a website so I can have a media kit on my website so I can start getting PR for this new business. I'm not worried about goddamn social handles, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, those are things I'm looking at. As far as analysis goes, I'm torn on that. Like if you're trying to do $1 billion business, probably need to do analysis. I'm a firm believer that now, as a less than 10-year-old, I don't remember my age exactly, 7, 8 years old. When I wanted to buy some donuts for me and my friends, I picked crab apples off my crab apple tree, because someone once told me, I think it was my grandma told me, that people bake pies with them shits. So I would stuff crab apples into brown paper bags, and if you knocked on enough doors, you could get some old lady to buy one. Knocked on enough doors, you could make $5, and $5 was to get the neighborhood deep into some Hostess donuts and Slurpees. What I realized, if you can sell anything to anybody. So there's almost a market for everything. It's just how big is the market? Trying to do $1 billion, $5 billion company, maybe you need to do analysis. But there's basically a need or a want for almost anything in this world. So do some analysis. But if it's a red ocean strategy and you're not even reinventing the wheel, you don't need to do analysis. You need to go. And I use the social media movie, the social network movie, because it's like I know it's TV, Kane. I know it's entertainment and it's acting, but just using examples to try to get people to understand. You saw Mark sit down. I think he might have been drinking or he's half lit. He's blogging and he creates his website. What I'm trying to say is he's doing shit. And that's the biggest thing that I watch. These people that hit me up because they know that I'm an investor looking for money. And I'm like, what have you done so far? And they do the same thing. Got the social handles. I got the LLC form. I'm like, dude, I can do all that in a day.
Yeah.
A couple hours, Kane. I can register social media accounts, hit my lawyer up. I just sent him a message, form XYZ company under my holding company. Done. Send me over the tax ID thing. Done. These are things that I do in a day. So I'm not that impressed when someone's like, I got my social media handle, I got my domain name. That's an hour. You could probably go on a site like LegalZoom and get your LLC filed, right? These are all things that could be done in a day. Start doing something. And that's where I always use the movie. It's like Mark just started laying code. They didn't spend like 6 months coming up with like, what's the brand concept from a futuristic standpoint? Like F that. They just start laying code, man. It's agile. Let's get something up that's just working, that's minimal. Make some improvements, see what works. Make some more improvements. Let's see what works. And that's where most people I find fail is the people I know that were talking about starting businesses a decade ago. They're still talking about it.
Yeah.
And they're the I'm gonna do something, but you ain't gonna do shit. You're gonna keep talking about it, and by then someone else has stole your idea and stole your market, and you're losing out. So go move boxes around the Amazon warehouse because that's where you're going.
You've talked to so many entrepreneurs and I mean, as an investor, and then I guess just in your circle, why do you think people get distracted by that stuff? Is it because it's easier, low hanging fruit, or is there? Do you think there's something else to it?
No, that's the easy stuff, man. I talk to people. It's like when I started, one of my companies. I had a tech company. I wouldn't call it a tech company. I did consulting in the tech world. I don't even call it a tech company. People shit broke. I went out and fixed it and charged them an ungodly amount of money to do it. Called a service company. But it's one of those things that's like you pick the phone up, you start calling people. You just call. You call. They tell you the F off. And then they're like, oh shit, our network went down. Could you come out? Matter of fact, I can. You got cash? Like, I want COD on this bitch. And no, who wants to pick up the phone and make cold calls to try to get sales? Yeah, nobody can. And so what do? They email. Well, we know what the conversion rate of email is. I get 10 of those a day. You know what I do? I hit like shift. And I click the top one, and I'm holding shift, and then I hit the bottom one, and then I hit delete. I delete the shit in bulk, right? So it's easier to go create domain names and social media handles and make social media posts, and they want to do all that stuff. But it's like when I was building one of the recruiting companies, I was making 250 sales calls a day. I bought a set of directories, and back then like nothing was digital. A set of these 4 huge leather-bound books. I took a book and I split it into 10 little packages. They were huge books, probably like 5 inches thick. I split it on the 10 packages, and then I went through each one and I highlighted it by time zone. So yellow was this time zone, and so I wanted to make sure I could call up to 6 p.m. in the time zone. Okay, and I'd make 250 phone calls a day just trying to get somebody on the phone. Well,
amazing.
That's why I'm where I'm at with my companies, and a lot of people are still talking about shit because people aren't willing to do that. They want to hire someone to do that, but they also don't want to spend the money on someone to do that. So it's like the thing that it goes back to, Mark laying the code. I'm not trying to over glorify Mark. It's just a pop culture reference that I can use.
Yeah.
Going out and doing the work is what usually makes your business successful, or unless you get a bunch of funding where you can go hire people to go do the shit you don't want to do. Yeah, so we do logos, we do business cards, we do letterhead with letters that we have to send to nobody, and we post on social media, coming soon, launching soon, brand new launch, website with the countdown ticker and all this shit. And then they launch and they got no sales. Like,
Yeah.
you could never, my emphasis to get through right now, the 2001 recession, the housing crash recession, and then this pandemic recession, is for the last 20 years, I had the mindset of you could never have enough sales. Even when we had 50% too many sales and we were just buried, I kept my foot on the throttle and I didn't let up because I knew a time like 2020 was coming. This is how you stay in business for 2 decades, Kane.
Yeah.
Also means doing a bunch of shit you don't want to do. But yeah, we like doing the creative stuff and the fun stuff and the letterhead and, got some paperwork. I went to Office Depot. I got paper clips and a letter organizer and
paper clips.
I got Post-it notes where I can doodle on because I don't have any customer information to write on the Post-it notes. I don't have any fucking customers. When I'm very candid when I coach people when they're starting their business. It's like, you need a client by Friday. Let's go. What are you doing? Send emails, get on a phone, get on LinkedIn. What are you doing? Stuff mailboxes. Get your first client. Well, this isn't ready and that's not ready. I'm like, it's that marine rule. If you got 70% of the materials you need, you're ready because you're never going to be ready. It'll never be done. It'll never be complete. And if you keep waiting around for it to be ready, you're never going to do it. So it's we love doing all the fun stuff, man. Buying office furniture, hanging this motivational picture on the wall with the slow motion water drop that hits the water and then it ripples out and it talks about the ripple effect of your positivity. Get the hell out of here with that shit. You still ain't got no customers. So, yeah, that's a small business world, man. And you got to get out of that mindset if you really want to make it.
Yeah. Hey, you posted something on your Instagram, I guess a few hours ago now, but about just making sure that you're always making some sort of forward progress. Like it's just something. I feel like it probably applies here too.
Yeah, I was talking about dieting, but it's something I also use the same quote for in the business world where, every day you should have the mindset of forward progress, some kind of forward momentum, no matter how small it is. And that should be above everything else. And a lot of times when I say above everything else, it's because we get sidetracked with the fun stuff. The fun stuff is the business cards and all the marketing and posting on social media. And it's, okay, and how many people for example, that's at least in the service sector and small CPG, that's driving in hundreds of thousands of dollars annually just through social media?
No, zero.
What's funny is you run a marketing agency and you know that. And I watch these people they fall into that trap and they spend all this time on social media and it's just like, well, where's the customers? And you realize some things have changed, but they haven't changed. When you're a huge brand and you got 1 million loyal followers on Instagram, posting your new lotion makes sense. When you're like the mom and pop cookie shop, doesn't work that way, dude.
You're busy making cookies. You're not on Instagram.
Yeah, there was a book called The E-Myth. I think I just remember it's a blue book, and it talks about bakery. And it's like, how do you grow your business when you're in the bakery all day? But the problem is, like, when we do get some free time to go grow the business, what are you gonna do? Go post on social media? Hey, you're better off going door to door giving away cookies, trying to get people hooked. Drop a little basket of cookies off at the office across the street with a 10% off coupon, with the whole stack of 10% off coupons. Give them a free cookie coupon. Get them in your fucking store, right? This is all more useful than trying to make a post on social media for the most part. And you'll get arguments with these people. It's like, no, social media is everything. I'm like, show me where you've generated hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars off of social media. Well, I haven't. I don't run a business.
I have the paper clips though.
Yeah, like God, stop telling me shit. That's like, dude, I got hospitality businesses, I got consulting businesses, I got service, but get out of my face. I'm in the bar and restaurant scene. It's like, dude, I'm all over the place. Don't even talk to me about that. I'm not saying social media doesn't work, but we choose to do it because it's easy. And you realize you're never going to generate enough sales usually to even get your rent paid. To answer the question, how to start a business, figure out something you can get people to buy. Find a market gap if you can. You don't have to. Find a business that just could be done better. Like there's always the next pizza. They always say the pizza market's saturated, and then a new pizza company pops up. Yeah, someone does it. They do it a little better. They market it a little better. Something can always be done better. So you either find something that people need. There's no one. I said start a firewood business. Everyone in my area wants firewood. There's no one here to bring seasoned firewood, deliver it, and stack it. And everyone out here will pay a tremendous amount of money. And you could sell them fire starters. And if you were smart, you would make your own fire starters and you start a whole new company that's just a fire starter brand, right? There's 20 million little businesses that could be started right now just by finding gaps in the market. And you want something bigger. You want to, everybody wants to create an app. If you notice, there's not a lot of apps blowing up anymore.
True.
It's kind of like the pharmaceutical industry where the heyday is over. Like they solved cholesterol and like allergies. The heyday of pharmaceuticals, it's there, but it's not what it used to be. Same thing with apps. Let's get back to business basics. Find a gap in the market. Find something in your area that's underserved. Don't spend too much time thinking about names, logos, business cards. Do that in a day. And then start finding customers. Okay, have you ever seen someone went out of business because they had a bad logo?
No, those things can change.
Ever seen someone go out of business because they didn't have social?
No.
See where I'm going with
Not
this?
Yet. Yeah.
Have you ever seen anyone go out of business because they had too many sales?
No.
You could certainly cause yourself some issues, but you're not going to go out of business unless you're just plain stupid.
It's a good problem to have.
Great problem to have. And then, it's 20% of your, the 20% of your bad customers cause 80% of your headaches. When you got a lot of sales, you can get rid of the bad customers. And then you can really focus on maximizing profits. So find a gap, find something that needs to get done, focus on sales, marketing, sales. And if you just focus on driving in business, Kane, how many times, if you see me for 5 or 6 years, how many times did I go invent a new company or service? And we didn't even know what the hell it was, but I'm like, go sell one and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. You're always product first, for sure.
Get the product or the service out there. We'll figure out how to deliver it. But let's make a sale.
Yeah.
That's completely ass backwards to how a lot of people think about starting a business. And it's you read a lot of these small business books, and I realize a lot of these small business books were written by people that never actually started or successfully ran a business over a long period of time.
Right.
They were good authors. But have they been in the business world, for 20 years in the trenches? Come to find out, they haven't been. So it's like, they'll write 3 chapters on LLC versus S corp. You can change those things. It's inexpensive to change those things. It doesn't matter. Just fucking file one. Let's go. Don't spend a month debating company structure. That can be changed later, but it's like you don't know that when you're starting your first company. So I just say focus on doing the things that are going to get customers where you're delivering services and getting paid. You will focus on over time making the business better logo, better branding, better website, better social. That stuff can all come, but without sales and without customers, none of that other shit matters.
Agreed. Excellent conversation.
Anyways, I say we'll make this like a 100-part series, but that's all I got for this one.
Sounds good.
For now, I'm gonna go start a hot dog truck for Home Depot.
Okay.
All right, I'll catch you.